Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Matt Canizar live at the National Bowling Stadium. We're here for tonight's team event at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. Tonight we're going to take a look at PBA champions Mike Wolfe and Kurt Pilon and their talented group of former collegiate players trying to get it done here in Reno in 2013. Should be an exciting broadcast and one of the final three from 2013, so stay tuned. They're in practice right now. We'll be underway shortly. Thanks for joining us tonight. And there's the 2-minute warning, so we'll be underway in just a couple of minutes. Looking forward to tonight's broadcast as things wind down here in Reno. Still opening day for quite a few teams as we get ready to say goodbye to the 2013 Open Championships. We're less than a month out. Still a lot of great bowlers headed this way. Two great teams tonight, so stay tuned. We appreciate everybody joining us. We'll be underway in just a minute. All right, there's the bell. So we are underway here at the National Bowling Stadium, the 7 p.m. team event. Once again, this is Matt Canizaro live at the National Bowling Stadium. Aaron Smith right next to me tonight. We're going to have an exciting broadcast, no doubt. And we haven't had any disappointments thus far. And some great players here. So looking forward to it. Aaron, how are you tonight?
Doing just fine, Matt. Thanks again, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. Should have a pretty spectacular lineup here. Go ahead and run through them. Starting on lane 39, leading off for Team Brown 2, Chris Hester. Comes up a little light. He'll be followed by Brian Hatcher, Zeke Bate, Brett Shepard, and four-time PBA champion Mike Wolfe. Their companion team, Storm Bowling Fish. Led off there by Andrew Burke with a strike. He'll be followed by Chris Pitts, Brandon Dale, Craig Nidifer, and USBC Open Championships titleist and PBA titleist as well, Kurt Pilon.
So some familiar names there for sure from the PBA Tour and the collegiate ranks over the years. A couple of these guys from back in my collegiate times. Chris Hester bowled at Morehead State. Brian Hatcher came along a little bit later at Wichita State. And those two certainly can't play. We got our first look at Hester just a minute ago. He's a left-hander. And he had the look, the reaction that I felt like I had for 9 games. And it was a 3-6-7 for him. So he starts things off with an open frame. But Hatcher picks him back up with a big strike there on lane 39. We're on kind of the middle of the house here, behind 39 and 40 at the National Bowling Stadium. 64 lanes in play this year for the Open Championships. And the last 10 lanes of this 78-lane venue being used for the Storm Bowlers Journal Championships. We'll get into all that and much more while we're here over the next 3 hours. So thank you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to share those in the chat room. We'll answer what we can. There's the newcomer to the team, Zeke Bates. He's replacing Art Brown, another talented left-hander who's on the road. Last I saw, headed to a poker tournament. So Art made the TV show at the Masters not too long ago. So some big shoes for Bates to fill here. See if he can be up to the task. As Nidifer makes it 4 for 4. For Storm Bowling Fish. Things are winding down here in Reno. We're into the hundreds already as far as days gone by at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. We kick things off March 1st and we'll be here until July 7th. Then it's all over.
Just like that.
Just like that. We'll be packing up. Moving on to the next one. But still, as we said, a lot of great bowlers scheduled to come through. Some other talented players on this squad. I believe I saw Tim Pfeiffer walking by, former Team USA member. Jason Wunderlich shot 300 at this event not too long ago.
Roger Cossert's on Wunderlich's team as well, a talented PBA 50 name we see out there a lot. So had a pretty solid squad at 3 p.m. today as well. So there's certainly, as we've said once, we'll say it again, no lead is safe here. You never know who's coming in each day. And as we said, we still got a few big names left to come here in the last few weeks. And we got some big names right in front of us on 39-40 here at the NBS.
All right, well, if you want to follow along with those guys, Wunderlich and the crew, they're bowling on 27 and 28 right now, so you can go to xbowling.com or find the X Bowling Tournament Edition app on your iPhone or Android device. You can pull up lanes 27, 28 and watch the live scoring, see the pinfall, see how they're doing. We'll keep tabs on them as well, but we're going to have some fireworks on this pair, I'm sure, as Hester gets the 10 pin to go late. So I think the wild card here is getting the lefty lined up. get him in the pocket.
We talked to Chris a little bit beforehand. They're really kind of working off the seat of their pants here, in a sense, kind of relying on the experience of Kurt and Mike to kind of lead the way, but they had a general idea just from hearing how everyone's kind of playing them this year, trying to break down the outsides with a little bit of surface to start and work away from there and see what they can turn this 41-foot oil pattern into.
Well, Chris Hester and Brian Hatch are both regulars in our chat room during our broadcast. Hester came up and chatted with us for a minute. Of course, he said that they tried to practice downstairs on the showcase lanes, but they did not reserve their spot in advance, so they tried to walk in and missed the time window available for team practice sessions. As we're going to have a bit of a score correction here in a minute for Chris Pitts.
That score correction taken care of there. Chris went a little bit too far there.
All right, so he's going to reset. Lane monitor's going to reset things for us as well. And back to our very exciting, informative story about Chris Hester and the guys in just a second. All right, let's try that one more time, Aaron Smith, while they're getting all that situated. Chris Hester stopped by, said they wanted to do a team practice session, but they did not make the time window. They didn't reserve their spot in advance, so they were unable to do so. So they took advantage of some of the other side events here, both Bowlers Journal Championships, just to get loose and get a feel for the building. You know, these guys have been around long enough. They understand the game and the strategy, and as you said, you know, they decided to wing it. They talked about it here at game time, and Chris Hester, being left-handed, said that Mike Wolfe and Kurt Pilon are going to lead the way and kind of tell the group what they're going to do. And you know, it's been pretty basic throughout the year. And as you said, a little bit of surface towards the outside, and then when they start to break down later in game one or early game two, maybe start to migrate left. So I'm sure that's what we'll see happen. Everybody's so far pretty far right for the right-hander. So again, basic strategy for some talented players, and we'll see how that develops. Waiting on the scoring situation to get fixed up here. There's Nidifer up on the left lane. We saw him make a run at the title at the IB Open this year. That was broadcast live on InsideBowling.com. Very talented player as he delivers a double here to start game number 1. And up on the right, Mike Wolfe. You've seen him on TV, PBA champion. He's regained his eligibility here at the Open Championships. Taking advantage of a chance to come and bowl here in 2013. It's high there, leaves the 3-pin. For those of you just chiming in, this is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the National Bowling Stadium. Only 3 live stream broadcasts left for 2013.
Counting this one.
Counting this one. Next up will be on June 25th. We'll see senior standout Pete Thomas and Southwest star Zeno Garcia. We'll see them bowl their doubles and singles. And then we'll wrap things up on June 30th. The final day of team competition at the USBC Women's Championships across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Jody Westner and her star-studded teams. And we'll leave it at that. We don't want to ruin those surprises, but that's going to be a good one. And as we say, no lead is safe. I think we'll see them challenge the team standings at the Women's Championships. Of course, this is the first time in history both events being held in the same host city at the same time. So a great opportunity for all of the women bowlers to come and bowl both events in one trip. So a lot of them taking advantage of that, whether they're scheduled to bowl here at the Open and then go find a spot at the Women's, or they actually schedule teams to do both.
Speaking of that, we had a young lady put on a show doing just that. The women's not too long ago. Team Columbia's Rocio Restrepo. It sounds much better when she says it than when I do. But just put on an absolute show. Was able to find her and her team were scheduled to bowl here at the Open. They were all squared away there, but Rocio was in town early. Was able to find a group of folks to bowl doubles with, so she bowled the 7 a.m. squad. And she found a team to bowl with at the 11 a.m. squad back to back. So she bowled all 9 games all in a row. And after a rough start of 223 her first game, which ended up being her lowest total throughout the tournament, came back with a 300. From there, just ran away with the all-events lead, shooting the second highest all-event score in tournament history, 22.74. That's a lot. I believe that was a 252 average. What the calculator said a few days ago, so certainly an impressive performance. Then she came here with her team, and they put on a show themselves and made a run at the team all-events lead, finishing or taking over 6th place. She has not been the only one to take advantage of that. On opening day over at the Women's, we saw Team USA member Shannon O'Keefe jump on a team and loosen up and get a few games in before her team took to the lanes. And we live streamed their effort on old TV here as well. So
next year we'll see that whole dynamic change quite a bit. The USBC Queens returning to the tournament site here in Reno. That's going to be the last week of June at the National Bowling Stadium. So a lot of ladies already working on their teams for next year. Women's Championships going to 4-player teams, but they'll be able to come to town, bowl the Open, bowl the Women's, and bowl the Queens all in one trip. So if you're a competitive bowler, that certainly is the way to do it. So looking forward to some interesting team combinations next year, and seeing a lot of the players that maybe we didn't see at the Women's Championships in 2013. Just a quick shout out to some folks in the chat room. Jessica Hatcher, of course, turning in to see Brian, already with 3 in a row here in game number 1. Vernon Peterson. Vernon, just by my calculations, only 32 more team squads left, give or take, for the year. So I see you have a sad face that the tournament will be over, but that could potentially mean big things for you and your teammates. Vernon, of course, part of the Lodge Lanes 2 team, leading the regular team event with a record score of 35-38. So
they're hoping for 2 banners this year, or I guess next year here at the stadium. That 2013 champion banner, and then the tournament record will be both. So, you know, Vern always turns in to take a gander, watch these talented teams make a run.
Well, Mr. Peterson had a bit of a scare a couple of days ago. Tom Doherty, Tyson Brannigan came in and tried to dethrone the leaders. And they made a good run at it. Came down to the 10th frame. Everybody needed to strike out. Didn't quite get there. Doherty and the boys shot 35.06. And that was the 6th highest score in history. But only good for 4th place in this high-scoring team event in 2013. So record scores in team, the 41-foot pattern, not proving to be much of a challenge for some teams. A record number of 3,400s. We're at 15. And we still have 2.5 weeks of competition to go. The previous record was 7, set here in 2011. So a little bit more fun, I would think, to strike a lot here in the team event, and a little bit intimidating as well, coming in and looking at 3,500 on the leaderboard. So kind of see it both ways.
We've seen teams go at it different ways. Just a rundown of the top 10. Lodge Lanes 2, as we've already talked about, 35-38 record number, followed by Junior Team USA Support 1 from Mansfield, Texas, 35-21. That group of guys is also leading team all events right now with 10,247. But they got their they had their work cut out for them after the first game, going 10-63, bouncing back to 12:05 and 12:53 to almost knock that number out. So you don't necessarily need a big game to start, but it certainly helps. Sitting in third currently, Leaf Lovers out just in Texas, 35.09. That group featured George Lambert IV, Patrick Girard, and a few other folks who are going to be representing Team Canada at the World Championships in Las Vegas in August. The bowling shop one, as Matt mentioned, featured Tom Doherty and Tyson Brannigan, 35.06, and rounding out the top 5, Red Carpet Lanes out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, 34.99. That talented group included Dave Barris, Chris Pearson, Jeff Nimke, who's a titleist here, and a group that's Chad Claus shot 300 in that effort. They went 12.72 their final game to get up there, so it's been an interesting way to get up to some big scores this year, Matt. So,
well, it's not how you get there, it's just that you get there. Just like anything, this lane condition here at the Open Championships, it plays to many different strengths and styles. That's what makes it so fair, is that it can be attacked from all different angles. Gives everybody a chance to play their A games here to a point. Still have to make great shots and make your spares. Of course, there's an awful lot of strikes involved in 3,500.
About 700 a guy.
Dynamite math, Mr. Smith.
That's what I'm here for. That Purdue education is paying off.
Spare miscue by Brandon Dale. We just talked about that on this sport bowling lane condition. Spares, very important.
Yeah, we do. Go ahead.
So especially on this team pattern, the strikes will come. But you gotta keep your head in the game, make your spares, fill your frames. And quite a few dashes up on the scoreboard already.
You beat me to the punch there, man. That's okay though, I'll let it slide this time. Idafer looking for the front four on 39. Did not like that one from the get-go.
Well, he'll get 8 more chances at it. Baby split though, a tough spare here. Anywhere really.
Well, the way we shoot him, yeah. So we got to see Craig. Well, we got to watch him earlier in this tournament, even though it wasn't technically at this tournament. Craig put on a great show. The 2013 Storm InsideBowling.com Open, run by our good friend Mike Flanagan. Made his way up the step ladders for running into Bill O'Neill in the finals. O'Neill ended up taking that title. Still, that was a nice preview for getting a chance to see Craig's game, and not in person, I guess, but get an idea of what he's all about. And so we were definitely prepared for that. Craig also won a regional not too long ago, back in October, out of the great state of Indiana. So.
All right, so we'll take another look at Chris Hester here in a second up on the left lane. He doesn't seem to like this lane too much so far. 3-6-7 in frame number 1 and a flat 7 in frame 3. See if he can make the adjustment. Looks like he's throwing the Ebonite champion, and he goes high, leaves the 4-7.
Chris is the lone lefty on the pair, so Matt, you had to deal with that not too long ago in your championships appearance, if I recall correctly. Just how tough is it out there being the lone port sider?
Well, so far he's seeing pretty much what I saw in the team event, and with this new ice oil from Kegel, it doesn't break down as quickly as the oils of the past. So designed to hold up well, which it does spectacularly. Certainly has changed the event a little bit. And on the left side, unfortunately, you don't have the opportunity to break the lanes down like the right-handers. You don't get to create any area. So you're really kind of stuck. And for me personally, in the team event, I was stuck between the look that he has right now, the 3-6-7 or the flat 7, just kind of almost getting to the pocket or getting there kind of light and leaving that split. Where in the past, maybe the 7 or the 3 would go, and you're looking at something makeable. And then a quick move, and all of a sudden you're through the face or a 6-pin. So you're trying to find that fine line between the 6-pin and the flat 7, and then you make a big move, change balls maybe, and then it's a disaster, either a big 4 or a washout. So you have to decide at that point, do you want to play it safe and stick with the flat 7 possible 6-pin area, or are you going to try to be a hero and make the big move that's going to help open it up? And there's really no way to make that happen any faster. So I made that mistake. Started with a solid 190 game and tried to make the move in game 2 and ended up with a 160. And then made the move back to where I felt safe. At least I was around the pocket. Left a few 9 counts and stayed relatively clean and stayed right around 180, 190 again. But it's better than splits and washouts. So a tough decision for Mr. Hester. He's thinking through it right now on the left lane at least. 2 strikes on the right lane. So we'll see. He, of course, is much better than me. Always was. But we'll see what he can do. If I had to do it over again, I might start out, at least in practice, with a little bit more surface and try to speed up that transition. Further towards the outside, 6, 7, 8, that general area. And with more surface, trying to make up for the fact that there's not more left-handers, just to open up the lane a little bit. Because for our right-handers, you know, maybe if they didn't start off so strong, the lanes changed as they progressed, and they ended up having a look. So I felt like I held the team back a little bit. Certainly going to rethink that all for next year, especially if we're back with this ice oil that does hold up much, much longer. So we'll see, and we'll see if Chris Hester can figure out this left lane as well. Brett Shepard, however, who's now up on 39, likes the left lane, not a big fan of the right lane. So he's perfect, 3 for 3 on the left. Just interesting to see how things are going to break down in transition and how these guys handle it.
All right, 4-time PBA champion Mike Wolfe stepping up, lane 39. Great shot there by Wolfe. Struck 4 out of 5 here in the early going. See Kurt Pylon, excuse me, stepping up on lane 40 here. Kurt had some recent success on the PBA Tour. I think Matt's he's looking at the page right now.
Well, Pilon already a PBA champion, and he's been around Team USA. He's been a solid player for many, many years. We actually were scheduled to talk to him a few years back. I think it was 2008, but he was recovering from heart surgery. So he went through some things back in 2007 range, and obviously made it back, big comeback here on the lanes, and gave the PBA events in Milwaukee, the summer swing, a shot here recently, and ended up 5th in the Lucas Oil PBA Badger Open. So he still got it after all these years. We ended up not talking to him that year for whatever reason. We were going to do an on the lanes or some kind of feature about his comeback, but now here we are, and he's strong here with a double in frames 4 and 5. Nice to see him back in the limelight a little bit, and also on that show, Aaron Lawrence, who we saw here actually just yesterday. Aaron, the intercollegiate singles champion, a solid college player this year, and parlayed that success into the summer swing and made that same TV show. And he's kind of been the guy to beat lately, it seems like, showing up at every event and making some noise. And he bowled with the Pirashad brothers here as a last-minute substitution because he did miss his original scheduled time here. He would have been on our live stream broadcast. Our last broadcast, I guess that was, not too long ago, TJ Schmidt. But he came out here. He bowled in place of Kegel president Chris Chartrand. Chris, busy with some Bowl Expo stuff, couldn't make it. Aaron Lawrence came out. They bowled well. A couple of the Pirashad brothers made a run there in singles even. Had a nice time. So a lot of familiar names kind of at both events now and out and about. Again, we saw Nidifer at the IB Open. And Pilon on TV. Mike Wolfe, a familiar face. So these guys certainly making their rounds.
I was going to say, Matt, just kind of watching the righties here. They're kind of angles are varying of how they are trying to get to the pocket here. It's a few guys still playing pretty direct, a few guys in a little bit, a few guys in quite a bit. So see how that strategy progresses throughout the evening. Great shot there by Bates on lane 40.
Mike Flanagan, we said the magic words, we said inside bowling, and there he is, checking in the chat room. Mike, thanks for joining us as well. And for everybody else just chiming in, Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. Talented players on tonight's broadcast. We are behind lanes 39 and 40 here at the National Bowling Stadium.
We're only kind of in the way to it.
PBA champion Mike Wolfe stepping up on lane 40, looking to make it 4 in a row and 5 out of 6. That ball checks 3-6-10. Aaron, Mike wants to know how you like that ball. Well, Mike, I'll tell you, it didn't help him any against me in league on a Wednesday. It's kind of the highlight of my year is Wednesday night I get to go out there and feel like a hero bowling against Mr. Smith.
It rolls nice though. It was a little bit too much for what we were bowling on this past week. Little strong for the pattern, but something to get a few more games on, get worn in a little bit. But certainly looking forward to tossing the gold IQ plenty in the upcoming months and preparation to beat up on Canizaro tremendously next year. I think I'm laying low for the rest of the way out, just to kind of give him a false sense of security. I'll work hard at my game and come back and not only take over the media department Open Championships record score, but take care of you in the league as well.
So that means you're coming back next year. That's good news.
Well, after Kenny's show, I showed up the next day, so. That's assuming if you'll have me back, of course.
Always up for negotiation. So we'll have that talk right around July 8th after we wrap things up here at the 2013 event. So Mike Flanagan, thanks for the ball. For Aaron Smith, thanks for joining us. Mike, a big wig in the marketing area at Storm Products now. Storm, a big sponsor here at the Open Championships. We've got the Storm Bowlers Journal Championships presented by USBC. Storm also has its name down at Bowling Ball Express, the official bowling ball box provider.
How about that?
I guess that's what you'd call it. So thanks to Mike and everybody there for their support.
Absolutely. And we're watching Storm Bowling Fish right now. Chris Pitts up on 40. Gets the 9 out.
While we were yapping, Chris Hester struck on the left lane. Brian Hatcher matches him.
Looks like Chris's shot was still a little bit light in the pocket. It was had the potential of a flat 7. They got it out. So
well, there's a fine line there, like we said, between a flat 7 and a high 6 pin or 6-8.
There's a 3-bagger for bait. Bounced back nicely after an open in the 4th.
All right, so some big numbers. These guys are chasing 35-38, the number on top. 34-38 to make the top 10. So that number would have been good for second place last time we were here in 2011. But that's part of the challenge of the Open Championships. Every year, brand new lane condition, new opportunity. This year, we throw a real challenge at you. We have 2 lane conditions. 41-foot pattern here in the team event. And lots of hold out there, big scores. And then a 39-foot pattern for doubles and singles, similar to last year in Baton Rouge. And not so much hold in the middle, 2 feet shorter. And scores significantly lower in doubles and singles this year. And for those on top in all events, it's a real test of versatility. John Zerbinski, the man to beat. 22-28, leading all events. 770 in team, 660 in doubles, and 789 in singles. Also the regular singles leader. So we've only had 2 800s the whole year. Both of those in the team event. Dean Billings, who was in the chat room earlier, 813 with a 300 game.
Dean's one of the nicest guys in the business, working for Ace Mitchell out in the Midwest.
Then about 10 days ago, Albuquerque's Eric Espinda sets the triplicate record here at the Open Championships. 279 triplicate, 837.
That's pretty good.
He made a run at all events as well, currently third with 2183.
Won the, as we were out, we were bowling league the night he actually shot the 837, came back for some great teamwork involved with our good friend Jimmy Schroeder, who's helping us out this year, and able to get the news out about Eric as quickly as possible. But coming back the next day, I was they were bowling the 1030 squad. I was watching that, and Eric stayed, obviously he was clean in the 837, and he stayed clean in doubles for 627. So he could just not find the doubles and doubles. How about that? But ended up staying clean for 620, and then was able, once the pattern opened up a little bit during singles, he shot 719, I believe, with, I think he only ended up having 2 opens, but scary to think how close he got to Zerbinski's number, and then having an entire set of basically not carrying there. So,
well, that's what it's all about, sir. Getting the right breaks at the right time and taking advantage. A lot can happen over 9 games.
Not to leave anyone out here, but our good friend Andy Zumwalt was on that team as well. So Andy helped break down the left side of the lanes for Eric. So.
And Eric had Andy beat in 2 games. Not to throw him under the bus any. Okay. Another miscue from Brandon Dale. Second 10 pin so far. Looks like he's stuck on the approach. We saw Chris Pitts go about halfway down the lane in frame 2.
Oh, that's been on 39 too.
Let's see if Nidifer has any trouble. He's working on 3 in a row. Started this game with a 3-bagger, so he's 6 out of 7 so far.
The 310 in the 4th being the lone mark so far, or lone open, excuse me.
Quite a few strikes on the scoreboard here in game number 1. But a handful of open frames as well.
That might be another one there. The 24810, getting that one a little bit wide. Good shot by Shepard there, leaving the half 10.
Spared no problem.
He showed me.
Indeed. I think that one a little bit easier with the A-pin there.
Helps that he kind of gets on the ball too. I take my 3 and walk away.
All right, well, here's our 2 PBA champions stepping up side by side. Pilon on the left, looking for a double. Mike Wolfe up on the right, also looking for 2 in a row.
From here, looks like Pylon's throwing a modern marvel. Another one of my favorites, but something a little bit older in the Storm arsenal.
You're supposed to say, sure wish I had one of those, Mike Flanagan.
If I have to, I will.
Mike Wolfe, wide right. Lucky to leave just the 1-2. Pilon lucky to leave just the 4.
Pilon was a member of the 1997 Team All Events Champions here at the OC.
Aaron, what were you doing in 1997?
Oh, 97. 13. Wow. I'm not even sure what grade.
Uh-oh. Pilon looks down at the approach as well. Might be time to call lane maintenance. Check that out.
Curtis
He misses
Woods
the
walking
4
around.
pin.
C-Dub, we need you.
Customer service here is top notch. If you do have an issue while you're bowling, certainly speak up, let the lane monitors know. We're glad to take care of it. Here's Hester, looking for 3 in a row. Swished him around last time on this lane. Rock solid there.
Great shot by Hester. Team round 2 has minimized the opens here. Only 3 so far through 8 frames as we get going in the 9th here.
Andrew Berg denied the 4-bagger. Ryan Hatcher still pretty far right. Solid game from all over the lane. Hatcher wearing a Motive shirt.
He's part of their staff. He's got a pretty impressive little resume here. Looking at his record over this is his 12th year here at the Open. 299 in doubles back in 09 in Vegas. Along with a very solid youth career. Second at the 1998 Junior Gold, which earned him a spot on Junior Team USA back in 1999.
The very first Junior Team USA.
He was also All-American at Wichita State back in that same time frame, 99-2000 season.
And it sounds like from the chat room, we're going to see Jessica Hatcher on our final broadcast of the year, rolling on the same pair with Jody Westner.
Good deal. We'll be looking forward to that. A little more insight to the final live stream of the year. Shot by Shepard there on 39 to set up the 9th frame. So Mike Wolfe steps up.
We haven't had a Matt McNeil sighting in a while. Mr. McNeil been hard at work downstairs on the 900 Global Showcase lanes this year as the featured coach. Showcase lanes, the newest addition to the National Bowling Stadium here, part of a $15 million renovation package. 10 lanes installed downstairs in what used to be a restaurant. But now bowlers come to town and have the opportunity to practice on the tournament lane condition, the team pattern out for 1 hour sessions for up to 10 players, $100 to get a look at the team pattern. If you like the expert advice of a USBC Silver coach, $200 will get you some time down there, get you the game plan, talk equipment, ball surface, you name it, get you ready for the Open Championships. Also 2 great side events downstairs on the showcase lanes. The 900 Global 2-game challenge. A quick hitter gives you a chance to cash in each day or a year-long jackpot. And then the Who's Got the Look Baker Bonanza. It's a fun little team event. 3 players. Each player bowls 3 frames. Then you get to select who bowls the 10th frame. Whoever's got the look. And that's a 5-game Baker event. Separate prize funds for each. Something fun to do here. Some different formats, different divisions for skill levels. So something for everybody. You can check that out on bowl.com/showcase lanes. Get you all your information. And tough lesson that Chris Hester learned is if you're gonna schedule a practice session, do it far enough in advance. Make sure there's a spot for you. You don't want to get left out in the cold.
Well, there's never a cold day here in Reno at this point. As Mr. McNeil's summer vacation comes to an end soon, going back to school.
It's a who's who in the chat room. Mr. Smith, we got Jimmy Johnson checking in, Vernon Peterson still around, Mike Flanagan, Art Brown, even taking a break from what he's up to check in and see how his team's doing. Do you appreciate the support? Only 3 broadcasts left from Reno this year. Gonna go out with a bang for sure. Let's see if Chris Hester can finish strong. Evernight champion. 6-pin on the right lane.
I was going to say Team Brown 2 had a chance, still had a pretty solid 1100 out there. Stepping up in the 10th, needing a lot of strikes of course, but 1160s was out there. That'll drop it down a little bit, but yeah, we certainly have seen some different styles here to get to the pocket in game 1. Now you mentioned Hatcher is still playing fairly direct. Obviously, Mr. Hester is out on his own over there, but we'll see what happens as the night progresses.
Aaron, I'm looking down on 27 and 28. Cossert, Chatos, Wonderlick, Tim Pfeiffer, and those guys having a little bit of trouble. Not too many strikes for them, but if you want to check that out at home, you can find that on xbowling.com or on your app on your mobile device. And Jimmy Johnson said that Brandon Novak is bowling this squad as well. We'll check that out and see what pair he's on. I know he's a talented player, has been winning some things. Some folks want to see how he's doing, so I will check xbowling.com. While we wrap up game number 1 here, Hester closes things out with 205. Brandon Novak, lane 24, according to xbowling.com, so you can check that out. Just type in his name. Looks like he's on pace for a Dutch 200.
Hatcher keeps it going, still has 260s out there.
Craig Auerbach, standing right next to us, a member of the 2004 Team All Events winner, top of the line pool service. Craig spent some time lately chasing the PBA dream, so bowling with a new team this year. His son Darren here as well. So as we said, we're still about 17 more days of competition or so left here at the Open Championships. And a lot of great teams still to come through. On the very last day, as a matter of fact, Del Ballard Jr., Jason Milligan, Team USA member Steve Smith will be trying to steal somebody's thunder. And we've seen it happen. We saw it happen in 2006, second to last day. Wendy McPherson comes through, becomes the first woman to win a regular division title. She shoots 300 and 800 on the way to an 8-12 series. And then in 2008, we saw the classified singles title come down to the very last squad. So you never do know.
Had to try something different on the fill ball there, already in the 260s. 263. Impressive start.
So Aaron, either Mike Flanagan knows his stuff, or he's quick on the Google trigger, because he's throwing out fact after fact about these guys before we even get a chance. Brian Hatcher, also Teen Masters champ.
Back in 1998.
See, that's the difference between me and Mr. Hatcher. I feel like my best days were back in the late 90s as well, but he continued to succeed and get better, and it was all downhill from there for me after that. And now here we are. We're behind the cameras, where we belong.
Absolutely.
Watching these guys strike it up. 263. A little unorthodox, but bet he'd take 3 of those.
Be a solid day at the office. As we mentioned before, we'll see how that him playing so direct will play into this compared to everybody else on the pair. Now we saw that earlier in the year with Turbotech, I believe, Jeff Carter and Chris Johnson's group. A lot of folks with a lot of hand on that pair of lanes, and Stephanie was kind of on the outside and had a great look the first 2, and then it kind of got away from her the last game. So
well, as they broke down, of course, she certainly helped the group immensely break down the outside part of the lane, but she got a little bit stuck because her game is more towards the outside, and when it was time for her to bump left, just didn't quite get the ball to face up, and she struggled in game 3, while the other guys were able to get left and wheel it around what she had created for them. So interesting to see how all that plays here. I can see Hatcher staying where he's at, maybe balling down a little bit. We saw that actually at the very start of the year when we had the Legend of Dung Ho. And a couple of those guys, their first look at the ice oil, and they went out there with 500 grit, expecting to throw it just through practice, and ended up using it into game 2 and staying where they were. Then they balled down a little bit, stayed in that general area, and they were the early leaders here at the 2013 event.
Bate finishes 221. Nidifer 241.
So Art Brown accepting the fact that he is now off this team for good, as Bate, solid performance here in the opener.
Four-pin stance for Pylon. Storm Bowling Fish is going to be under 1,000 here in game number 1.
Tough break for Shepard. Misses the baby split. Finishes with 207.
Team Round 2 still has 1,100 out there. 11:07 max. So
I think if you're going to give it a legitimate run here, you got to be in the mid 1100s early, take advantage, and as the lanes open up, really pounce on it. Of course, large lanes too started big with 12:06 and a couple of 11:60s. Awesome day that day, watching John Janowitz deliver 3 in the 10th, absolutely dead flush, to break the 20-year-old record by a single pin. Those guys kind of half celebrated that day. They broke the record, certainly. But it won't mean much if they're not at the top of the standings at the close of business on July 6th.
Tough break there for Wolfe. Shot didn't seem that high, but 4:10 is left standing. Looks like Pylon is going to try something else on the fill ball here.
So rough finish here for Team Brown 2. 10:86 with back-to-back opens. These guys have some work to do.
194 in the books for Pilon and 193. For 948.
So it looks like the guy in the minimum.
But in our last live stream, Matt, we watching TJ Schmidt and his very talented group of younger bowlers. Came out of the gates barely cracking 1,000. Came back with 1250 in game 2. 1252 to be exact. Steven Zimmer ran the front 10 strikes for 10-pin ended his run at perfection. So you never know what the next game is going to bring. That's why you bowl every game out here.
So game 2 underway. If you're just stopping by, this is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. We're live behind lanes 39 and 40 here at the one-of-a-kind National Bowling Stadium. Things are winding down. More than 2 dozen live stream broadcast in the books already. A lot of great moments. You can find those all at youtube.com/bowltv. Remember to subscribe to our channel. You'll never miss another live stream broadcast from us or Lucas Wiseman, the Globetrotter. Just spent the week at the Senior Masters. Congrats to Pete Weber on the big win. And we'll all be hitting the road next month for the US Open in Ohio, followed by the Senior World Championships, Combined World Championships, and the USBC Queens in Las Vegas. So a busy couple of months coming up after we wrap things up here in Reno. So looking forward to that.
And as always, sound is optional.
Got the chance to run into quite a few of our live stream viewers this week. Spent a little time out and about. Just watching some bowling just because we can. Glad to see everybody enjoying the coverage this year. We'll be right back here in Reno 2014. We'll start working on that schedule. Definitely open suggestions. If you'd like to see somebody on the live stream broadcast, certainly we'll put them in consideration. Of course, always has to work out with the timing. Like to spread it out a little bit.
Great place to leave those suggestions might be your Facebook page, right, Matt?
How about that? Come visit me on Facebook. Matt Canizaro, USBC. If you have any thoughts or curious about what happens behind the scenes here at the Open Championships, you can drop by there. Let us know. How can we do things better? Who would you like to see on a broadcast? Who would you like to see on the lanes? A lot of great opportunities to interact with us. You can find us on Twitter at USBC. And of course, USBC's main Facebook page, The Sport of Bowling USBC. A lot of great information there. And another Facebook page just for the Open and Women's Championships. That's where we post a lot of our news and some different items that you might not see on bowl.com. A good opportunity for discussion. So check out all those places. We're all over, Mr. Smith. And if you're curious about the scores, news, notes, pictures, anything that's been happening here in Reno at the Open or Women's Championships, you can find all of that on bowl.com. Don't miss a minute of the action. And registration already open for 2014. Dates and times filling fast. Great incentives. If you pay by July 1st, pay in full. Every member of the team will take home $20 in championships cash, just like that. Once you check in, 20 bucks yours to spend on anything you'd like here inside the venue. And if you choose to bowl at 10:30 next year, 10:30 p.m., you get yourself a $55 rebate, just like bowling singles for free. So you're guaranteed to get a price check before you ever throw a ball. All you got to do is sign up and pay in full by July 1st. Register for 10:30, just like that. Take care of all that business. It's like bowling for 110 bucks. Can't beat that.
Not at all.
That'll give you a chance to spend the additional money on one of our side events here. It looks like a huge crowd down on the high end over at the Bowlers Journal Championships. Squads all day long there now. It was so busy they had to go to squad times. Things going very well at that event. Big crowd, some talented Texas bowlers on hand. Sean and Anthony Lavery spar. Anthony Simonson, up and coming two-hander, fresh into the adult ranks. They'll be on the lanes here at the Open Championships in the next couple of days. Big Next shot, Mike Wolfe gets the 9 out for a double.
Get on that horse, ball.
Wrong time.
Too soon?
Got to pick your spots. Speaking of which, where is Mr. Williams?
I don't know.
Thought he was going to come out and visit us this year. He's running out of time. Emil, if you're on the old TV right now, come and visit. We'll get you in the booth. Be glad to take the night off. Get the band back together.
Can we have him set it up too?
Certainly.
All right.
Equal opportunity. Everybody's a part of the team. Already told Aaron he's on his own next broadcast. Start to finish, set it up. See what he learned over the last 25 or so broadcasts this year.
So when you tune in and see nothing, that's the reason why.
Because Aaron's in charge.
I don't know, the first time you let me set it up by myself was for Jeff Riggles and company. We had one camera go black and white and one camera stopped working, so.
But we did capture the only left-handed 300 game of the year.
I believe our only 300 on Bowl TV this year is here at the Open.
Will Garber, son of PBA standout Wayne Garber. Two-hander from the left side. Got the cameras on it. Mike Flanagan was in the house for that one as well. It was retro. ESPN Classic Black and White 300. You can find that in the archives on Bowl TV. Check it out. But you're right. You're 0 for 1 so far. So it's either going to be redemption or disaster. But again,
tune in live on June 25th to find out.
An equal chance. Everybody can do everything. A lot of strikes here to start game 2. Brian Hatcher, 3 in a row. Bate, 3 in a row. Chris Hester comes back from the open frame with a double.
Nidifer looking for an opening 3-bagger as well.
Brian Hatcher started the night with 263.
He's able to get the messenger and take out the 10. He is left. Mr. Nidifer crossing around 20 there already here. Early going to game 2. Shepard gets his first strike of game 2.
And the missed 10 pin for Nidifer. .948 start for Storm Bowling Fish. Can't afford single pin misses at any point, especially now when we're trying to climb out of a hole.
Is that a 9 in a row I see out of Mr. Flanagan?
Bold prediction.
That'd be all right. Still looking for number 27 of the year. Although I guess I'm getting a little ahead of myself. He just said the front 9.
He just said 9 in a row. As we saw with Eric Espinda and his 279 triplicate, no two were the same. He got the 279 3 different ways.
I believe it was only, was it 30 strikes?
A 30 strike performance.
First game he spared. He was running 290 all the way till the second shot of the 10th. Left a single pin. Remember that after 279. Game number 2. spared in the second, running 280. 9 count on the fill, and then I guess a traditional 279 in the finale. Front 7, I believe, 9 spare off the sheet.
We'll try to get him on our team a couple of years ago when we were rebuilding. That could have been our 837.
Coattails Cannizzaro, everybody.
I already told you, I'm fine with doing all the work, putting everything together, making the payments, interest payments, you name it. All they got to do is put up some big numbers and take me there. Hester's run ends at 2 as he leaves just the 3-pin. See if Brian Hatcher can stay perfect here. Make it 4 for 4.
I'm not sure if we've seen anyone play this direct on the team pattern as Mr. Hatcher has on our live streams this year. Well, certainly working. The 260s in the opener. The
Dung Ho folks, some of them pretty far right. Stephanie Nation, as we mentioned, right as well. But usually not this far in. Usually that's just the practice and early part.
Just a fantastic shot there.
But don't move unless you have to. He is locked in. Not Narlocked. We did see Jason Narlock shoot 299.
I think it was on this pair too. Having flashbacks. That was only about, what, 22 live streams ago?
It's been a good run here. A lot of excitement, big scores, memories. We saw Matt McNeil make a run in singles on our live stream broadcast. Came up a little bit short, 2 pins short. He's now second. Regular singles, 787. John Zabinski leads with 789. Over at the Women's Championships, we saw the second highest team score in history. Eagles Edge Pro Shop leading the scratch team event, 33-57.
They shut the lights out.
They shot the lights out. Indeed, we had a blackout in the middle of competition. Then we saw some fireworks. The day we tuned in to see Lindsay Boomershine and Alicia Curran, the defending regular doubles champs. They did not take the lead. However,
Kalina Henning and Christy Leong, after seeing their teammates earn their banner and their trophies, get to celebrate that, they look to find some of that of their own. So they went over and knocked out the doubles lead, or scratch doubles lead. They're also leading diamond as of right now. 14:39, I believe, off the top of my head.
That event winding down as well. The Women's Championship kicked off at the Reno Sparks Convention Center on April 12th. And 81 days of competition will come to an end on July 1st. We'll be there to see the last team day on June 30th. Don't forget to tune in for that. It's going to be an exciting broadcast. Jody Westner and her talented cast of characters. Tough break there for Pylon. Leaves the 9-pin. Mike Wolfe trying to get back on track here on lane 39.
Gets all 10 out. We're just moving along here, aren't we? Middle of game 2 already. Nice shot by Burke there. It's like 39 right now.
Down on lane 24, Jimmy Johnson, Brandon Novak. Starts game 2 with the 3-bagger. You can follow along on xbowling.com. Select the Open Championships, pick lane 24. Follow that live. Chris Hester with another 3-pin. He's in that chin scratching part of the night. Got to make a move, but what do you do? Maybe slow down a bit. Ball potentially could dive on you, or do you make a ball change?
Hester and Wolfe have had some team success in the past. Last year at the Mary Tubner, I hope I pronounced that right, Mary Tubner Team Challenge, Hester and Wolfe teamed up with Chris Sand, Mike Fagan, and Casey Murphy to claim that title.
Well, we've seen these guys on our live stream broadcast before, not too long ago. They companioned up with Deandra Asbeatty. Two very talented teams. We got some other celebrities in the building. We saw earlier on the 3 o'clock squad, the Warhawks. They made a run at the team event in 2011. Jonathan Shallow, Chad Svenden, and Andrew Ewing, the B-teamer, stopping by. So they're watching right now. They bowled their team event today, double singles tomorrow. The backwards bowler was here today as well. He'll be on the lanes tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you've never seen it, check it out on our webcams. Go to the bowl.com Open Championships page. There's a webcams information box. And it's way more interesting than that 4 count for bait. Yikes. That's all you can really say about that.
Looked a little surprised by it walking off the approach there, so. Just enough momentum for Nidafer to get the 10 out. So we got to see him on the Storm Inside Bowling.com Open a little, probably a month or so, 2 months ago. Mike's still in the chat room, you can let us know when that was, but yeah, that was the first time getting to see Craig's game. He's very impressed, and it's certainly not disappointing here. A few spares I'm sure he'd like to have back, but striking at will.
Appreciate everybody being here tonight. We're halfway through game 2. 7 p.m. team event, 2013 USBC Open Championships. We got some communication going on here. These guys talking through some of the things we're seeing here. Pilon stepped off, and now he's back up on lane 39. Just like that. 10 back for the PBA champ.
Wolfe gets all 10 outs. The late mixer, 4 out of 5. Here in game 2.
Birkin mixes him up for a double. Brian Hatcher trying to stay perfect, stepping up on lane 39. 5 for 5 so far here in game 2, 263 in the opener. He is firing him off the corner. Looking as comfortable as you can be. The 10 does not cooperate.
It's a great shot there. Converts the spare there. 270 still out there. Curtis Wood's doing some work out there, getting something out of the gutter. More affectionately known as C-dub around these parts. Hardest working man here. Outside of Matt Cannizzaro, of course.
Flattery will get you nowhere, Mr. Smith.
I'm trying as hard as I can.
Although you did get a bowling ball sent to your office, so maybe it does work.
You got a book out of it, I got a bowling ball.
Still not as smooth as Emil Williams Jr. getting Popeye's chicken delivered to his desk. Just by talking about it on the broadcast.
We've tried that a few times, it hasn't worked yet.
It hasn't worked yet.
Tried pitching the awful a while ago and didn't see anyone when we got back. The door's open right now if anyone wants to. Just don't take anything, but feel free to leave as much as you like. Preferably food though, that's
We have first game. Hell of nothing, but I was wondering when we had the first game. I don't know when we
Mike
had
Wolfe up on lane 39. Looking for 3 in a row. Trying to make it 5 out of 6 here in game 2. Wolfe opened in the 10th for 190 in the opener. And that shot not so good.
got that one way right off his hand. That is not coming back on this pattern at this point at least.
I know I'm like the most skinniest one. I don't work out. This is
Great shot
Double
by
for Pylon.
Great shot as well. How about that?
Mark London stopping in, broadcaster extraordinaire. Haven't seen him this year. Chris Hester, I'm taking notes. Still throwing that champion, got that one in. It holds just enough to leave a 6-pin. That would have been Runaway Brooklyn on the doubles and singles pattern. No hold in the middle. All part of the challenge.
It's all about working together, making shots.
I see bad things happening for this table here in a minute. The crowd's getting rowdy.
We're having some fun at the NVS today.
Well, it's all fun until somebody gets hit in the head with a tripod.
Again?
Again. Aaron hit me, threw the tripod at me.
You make it sound intentional.
Somebody dropped a beer on my head out of the bleachers.
You make that sound like a bad thing, too.
Well, it wasn't a fountain. It was just a bottle. Patrick, not liking that one. Leaves 310.
Might been the first errant shot we've seen him throw all day.
Beverage of choice in the media relations department this week. Monster. Ultra Blue, feel free to drop by with one of those.
Speak for yourself.
Patrick converts. See if he can get a 263 triplicate. Or the unique.
It would be. It wouldn't be a record anymore. Great shot by Nidifer there. 6 out of 7. 10th is his lone miss so far this game. Bate bounces back nicely on lane 40 after going 4 through the nose. His last effort on that lane.
There's a ring 10 and an F-bomb. Pylon denied the 3-bagger. Brett Shepard looking for 5 in a row here. Is that a roto grip disturbed?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was.
Seems to be a familiar sight on the Open Championships lane, especially in the team event.
That's what it appears to be. Weapon of choice this year. The Open Championships.
Pilon converts. Mike Wolfe now stepping up, trying to make up for that washout.
Looking to our left, they're starting to see a lot of strikes over beyond center aisle.
It's like Brandon Novak, 5 for 5 here in game 2. And his teammate, if I can read that correctly, Andrew Jordan also with 5 in a row. You can check that out on xbowling.com, lane 24. Tim Pfeiffer, former Team USA member, also with 5 in a row. He's on lane 27. Gentleman on his companion team on 28, also with 5 in a row, so we'll keep our eyes down that way. See if Chris Hester can get back on track here.
He's back with an 8-pin.
Cannot get a break. Got the 6 out though. Again, it's that spot. It's either a 3-pin or a high flush just like that. It was a 6-pin on the last shot. Could have been a 6-8 right there. But what's the move? That's the big question. A couple lefties have figured it out this year. Rick Miller had a fantastic year, shot 2,100. Speaking of Ricks, saw Rick Lawrence walking around earlier. Another talented left-hander from Waxahachie, Texas.
Wax a what?
He's up there in our average list for the last few years. I believe Doug Becker, also left-handed, had a poll or of some sort going on his Facebook page trying to figure out who the next closest lefty behind Matt McNeil is as far as the amazing run that McNeil's been having here at the Open Championships the last 4 years.
Or at least this year, I think next closest would be Mark Moore. And a very solid outing.
Well, again, Miller shot 2,100, Mark Moore shot 2,000. But as far as the last handful of years, Rick Lawrence is right up there. Certainly not in the same ballpark as McNeil, whose low set since 2010 is 2099 this year. Quite a few guys looking to give us something to do after this broadcast. Of those guys we just mentioned, so far 2 now have the front 6.
The other 2 are stepping up right now. Brandon Novak's run ended, left a 6 count, 6th frame. Tim's still up right now. He got number 6.
Tell you what, xbowling.com has been a very useful tool for us. I was keeping an eye on it yesterday on my way into the office. Tom Doherty and Tyson Brannigan, they shot 3,500 2 nights ago. They were going doubles and singles at 7 a.m. yesterday. I had it pulled up on my phone so I could see how they were doing. Doherty started singles with 289.
Wow. Realize that. Thanks for telling me.
And they were certainly in position to make your run, not only of singles, but team all events. And some other folks, Rocio and Dan Higgins were bowling that squad as well. They ended up with 10,000 for team all events. So a lot of great bowlers on that squad, and I was able to keep track before coming to the office on that X Bowling app. Very helpful.
Up the 8th frame here. There's quietly put up a lot of strikes here. I don't know if you can quietly put up strikes, but
there's Nidifer, 5 in a row, 7 out of 8. Shepard with a 6-bagger. Hatcher, 6 out of 8. 3,500 is a monster number here. 34-38 will get him in the top 10 and give him a nice head start toward the team all events. It's a marathon, of course. Pilon back on track.
Frame. Here we go. Burke on your left, Hester on your right.
Gas that one down there.
A little wide, leaving the 2-4-5. Great shot by Hester there. Catcher runs a little bit high there, breaks up the potential split out there.
But there goes the 263 chip. Get out the window.
That is true. About to settle for 240s now. Nice shot by Pitts there.
Looks like we broke X bowling. Everybody trying to watch all those strikes.
So we got 2 sets of red strikes up there now. Anthony Jordan and I can't tell the last name on lane 28. Gerald is the first name. Gerald or Gerard?
Pfeiffer with an 8 count. His run ends at 6. So at least within eye shot, 2 chances left. Brett Shepard working on 6 in a row, stepping up on lane 40 here. Brandon Dale trying to make it half of that for 3 in a row.
A little high.
End of game 2. Looks like maybe some transitioning happening now.
So a few shots around a little bit high on these guys here. Like I said, we saw varying angles in game number 1, how these guys were attacking the lane. So.
For looking for 6-pack. The 10-pin end his run. And the prediction for 9 in a row.
I guess Shepard still had a shot at it up until then. Back 10 out there.
The Warhawks standing behind us, watching the action. Mike Wolfe trying to put on a show, looking for 3 in a row. He goes high, leaves the 6-10. Pilon up on lane 39, looking for his 3rd double of the game. Unfortunately, not in a row. If I remember, he left a 10-pin last time when this lane made a good shot. We've seen the last couple guys go high. Game 2 flying by, these guys leading the way. This 7 p.m. team squad, 10:30 double singles coming up next.
Stepping up here in the 10th. Team round 2 still has 11:59 out there.
Hester goes light.
Well, they don't have it anymore. But stepping up, they had 11.59 out there. Storm Bowling Fish, 11.94.
So Hester shot 205 in the opener and just having trouble getting to the pocket here in game 2. He's around it, but he's either light or high, just not flush.
And in no man's land right now.
All by himself on the left side. Picks up the 9-pin. That's the big difference there between him and I. Clean frames.
Well, it gets lonely over there.
It does get lonely. It gets confusing. Certainly a good time to try something here, Mr. Hester. Hand to the forehead, thinking through.
Looks like he might be
going to the bag.
Trying a different ball here. Ten pin for Berg. He'll still be in the 220s this game after a 190 start.
Chris goes, hey, any Tom Smallwood references to me can be referred to Tom Smallwood.
So Hester makes the ball change on the fill. If I had to guess from here, I would say it was a game breaker or a black taboo. Hester, part of the Ebonite International family, does some social networking work for the company.
Far to our left, we're down to one string over here.
It'd be interesting to hear some thoughts from Mr. Hester. See if he's willing to chat with us, get us an idea what's happening out there. In the meantime, Brian Hatcher still has 240 out there. Started with 263. Looks like all strings of strikes have now ended. Hatcher, however, big double in the 10th. All right, so Aaron Smith, the man with the plan. He's going to write down some scores. See if we can fight through this ginormous crowd. Here comes Chris Hester.
Oh, he's making it easy for us.
Well, Aaron, make sure to, of course, talk to him about what he's seen out there from his side of the lane and maybe what they're talking about as a group. Zach Bate, the youngster. Just 20 years old. Great shot there.
All right, Matt, I'm going to interject. We got Chris Hester over here. Chris, we were kind of contemplating what was the ball change on the fill ball there. So what was the switch to?
I went from a champion with 1,000 grit on it to actually a black taboo. So I feel like I'm in the right zone, but that ball was so early, it just trapped me. It was never going to strike. So I went to black taboo. It's a little cleaner through the front, stronger down lane, and that looked like a whole different pattern. I mean, that looked pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, it looked like you've been around the pocket all day, just kind of a little too early, a little too late, a little back and forth. So just how you feel the team effort's been going on out here so far?
Oh, pretty good. We have a good mix of guys. We have a lot of guys that both college at the same time, so there's a lot of communicating, a lot of discussing moves before moves need to be made. So I think it's going pretty well so far. I mean, the scores, I feel like we're bowling better than we're obviously the scores look, but I feel really good about the group. I feel like good about the group, which is key. You got to come out here with guys you feel comfortable bowling with, and this is a fun 10 that talk and are trying to help each other. Nobody's out there trying to beat anybody else on our pair. We're out there trying to help each other, and we want everybody to do the best, and that's all you can ask for.
And it certainly looks like you guys are having a good time out here, too, and enjoying your Open Championships experience. Matt and I kind of been talking about Matt was in a similar situation, being the lone lefty on the pair. How do you fight through the transition here? And obviously these guys are all kind of working together to break it down. Just for any lefties out there watching, just how tough is it out there to be the lone guy on your side?
It's not easy, that's for sure. And that's why I stayed with the ball I did probably longer than I should, because I knew I needed to create, the hook spot that the righties get to see, 8-9 frames before I ever see my ball even wiggle. So it's hard. You've got to really dedicate yourself to what you think you should do, and you have to stay tight and break them down. Because if you try to, as you see my first frame every game, I said, well, maybe I come up a little right, and then never sees the lane. You can't do that. You have to be dedicated to what you decide to do, and just stay with it. And hopefully it's going to pay off this last game. So we'll see.
All right, Chris, best of luck in the finale. We'll be rooting you guys on.
We need to get our PBA members striking more. Got a gosh darn PBA member, and he keeps getting those little dash marks. So I want to go on record now saying Wolfe needs to strike more the last game, or I'm punching him.
And there you have it.
All right.
Chris Hester punching Wolfe if he doesn't strike the last game.
The threat of violence here. That would certainly get me motivated. We'll see if it works for Mike Wolfe coming up here in the 10th frame in just a minute. But glad to see I was right on there with the assessment of the left-handed situation. And, of course, Hester, with his talent and experience, was a little braver. He stuck with it. He stayed where he felt like he was close, trying to create that room for Game 3 by himself, as opposed to making the move sooner. That's possibly hurt some of us the rest of the way. So we'll see again. He said he switched to a black taboo in the 10th frame. Got a nice look. Stuck with that surface earlier on to try to create himself a hook spot. So we'll see how that ball change works in Game 3. So the rundown right now, Andrew Burke, 227, Chris Pitts, 248, Brandon Dale, clean, 206. And up top, Hester, 196, with just the open in the first frame. I believe he left at 379, if I'm not mistaken. Brian Hatcher, 247 after that big 263 start. Bate, 209. Shepard comes through with 248. Now let's see if Mike Wolfe can get things going here. 6 strikes. And just one spare through 9 frames. As Hester said, Wolfe is the PBA champion. He's made the big shots before. Get it done, fella. Or Chris Hester's going to bring the whooping.
So be sure to tune in for our pay-per-view afterwards.
We'll leave the cameras rolling.
Hester Wolfe.
Depending on where Hester's going to punch him, he might need to stand on a chair, but we'll be ready. But it looks like Mike might have hurt him. Struck on the first shot in the 10th. Nidifer with a double on the right.
I know we've seen plenty of interesting things on the live stream. We've heard plenty of interesting things. Is that the first kind of physical altercation threat we've had?
It might be, but it seems to be working.
It's all about motivation one way or the other, right?
Everybody has the things that motivate them. For me, it was the thought of being the low man in the media relations department.
I'm glad I could inspire you.
And for Mike Wolfe, he's fearful of the wrath of Hester. So here we are. Wolfe double in his 10th, looking for 2-0. This guy's right around 1100 here. And 3 for 3 since being called out. 11:08 to go along with 10:86 in the opener. Pilon will help his team surpass that number. He's working on a double. Still has 2:47 out there.
Fantastic shot there.
Looks like Nidifer was checking out the chat room to see what everybody's talking about at home. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Game 2 wrapping up here on this team event. 3 broadcasts from the end. It's been a good run here in Reno. We kicked things off March 1st. 125 days of competition when it's all over on July 7th. Right now, we're watching Team Brown 2. No doubt recognizing their missing teammate, Art Brown, talented left-hander. And then Storm Bowling Fish, led by PBA champion Kurt Pilon. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith. Made it more than 100 days and have not called you Emil Williams Jr. one time.
Well, at least not to my face, so. Although it would be a compliment. Certainly missing Emil this year. Holding it down in Chicago.
I'm just waiting for the day. He's gonna walk in, bowling bag in one hand, White Castle in the other.
You and the White Castle.
Headset already on, ready to go. That's Emil style right there. With the sweater vest.
With the sweater vest, and we wouldn't need to stand on chairs either.
All right, here we go. Game 2 in the books. Team Brown 2, 1086, 1108. Storm Bowling Fish. Big game 2, 948, 1158. 2194 for Hester and crew. He sticks with that black taboo. Goes light again. Cannot swish out the 10 pin. $290 still good.
It's not bad.
Get your name on bowl.com. Just put those up today, as a matter of fact. If you're curious about any of our year-long brackets products, honor scores, loaded cash, you name it, you can find that and more in the scores information box on the Open Championships page on bowl.com. 65 bowlers have achieved 11 strikes in a row.
Mr. Hatcher wouldn't mind that right now. 290 would be just right. 510 at the turn.
Well, let's see. He's still way right. Same ball. That one goes high. Lucky to leave just the 10. Might be time. Go to something that's going to get a little bit further down the lane. I'm not as familiar with this Motive equipment. Motive?
Motive.
Talked to Lee Vanderhoof last night. He was curious about the new, I believe it's a Primal Rage, maybe? Whatever it is, Jake Peters threw it on TV and threw it well. Lee headed this way with a couple of those in his bag.
Mr. Peters did all right. That was the first win for Motive on their first PBA national victory, I believe. So, first title for Peters as well against his former teammate at Wichita State, Josh Blanchard, who we'll be seeing out here in a few days as well.
There it is, the Primal Rage. Wasn't that a Columbia ball at some point?
I think it might have been. Certainly remember there being rages from Columbia.
There was the rage, the outrage.
You see a ball change there from Bate. He's got a DV8 patch on.
And there it is, same colors and everything.
How about that?
All right, there's an A for originality, but as long as it strikes, it's all that matters. And it certainly struck for Jake Peters.
Shepard gets the light mixer. He's kind of staring at it for a while. Wasn't sure if he was expecting a little more ball reaction. Mike Flanagan still sticking around. Another prediction. I like him. Nidifer has 487 at the turn, so it's been around that number all day. Mike Wolfe at 398.
Uh-oh. Mike Wolfe leaves the 10 pin.
Hester staring him down.
Pretty sure he meant the rest of the night, not just the rest of game 2. Flanagan making predictions. He says Wolfe and Nidifer will combine for 500 here in game 3.
Certainly wouldn't surprise me. I saw a 590 out there, so.
590 solid.
Not a bad double score. For you folks wondering, these guys will be back on the lanes tomorrow night at 10:30. Bowling the late squad.
Well, with that excellent transition, let's take a look at the rest of the leaderboards here at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. We know what's on top in the team event: 35-38, Lodge Lanes 2, and 34-38 to make the top 10. Big numbers.
Certainly, but when these guys step up for doubles tomorrow, scores will be a little bit lower, if you will, but not necessarily as easy to get to. Regular doubles, Brian Burkhart and Rick Gatlin of the St. Louis area. I believe Brian's one of the guys who helps out at Inside Bowling as well. 1440 up on top. Sitting in second regular doubles, Alex Aguiar and Brian Leclerc, 1422. There's a two-way tie for third. Chris Green and Joe Keltner, members of the 2008 regular team champions. And Joe Conti Jr. and Derek Magno out of New York, 1403. Rounding out the top 5 in regular doubles, we have a tie, Patrick Dombrowski and Mark Massey, along with Tony Renaud and Glenn Hood, 1399. After they finish up doubles.
1399, wasn't that your all events total? See what I did there?
Thanks for tuning in just for that. If only you could see us in the actual office. You folks would be in for a treat.
It's an HR nightmare.
Moving on to regular singles before we get in any more trouble. We've mentioned his name a few times already. John Zerbinski, North Tonawanda, New York, 789 on top. Three-time Eagle winners, Matt McNeil, Prior Lake, Minnesota, 787. This is just stacked here in singles. Third place, Mike Shady. He's not bad either. Fairview, Pennsylvania, 783. Sitting in fourth, Aaron Jones, guy out of my area, Palos Hills, Illinois, 778. Rounding out the top 5, Kelly Bonta, Wichita, Kansas, 776 with the help of a 300 in the opener. Regular all events, John Zerbinski once again, 22-28. Sitting in second, Dean Billings, Roots Town, Ohio, 22-14 with the help of an 8-13 in team. Sitting in third, Eric Espinda, Albuquerque, New Mexico. 21-83 with the help of the 279, 279, 279, 837 effort during his team event. Sitting in fourth, John Janowitz, member of Lodge Lanes 2, and also a two-time champion at the event. 21-69. And rounding out the top five, a tie with 21-66, Mike Moore out of Orlando, Florida, and Corey Husted, son of Hall of Famer Dave Husted, out of Oregon. 21-66 once again. Finally, team all events. I know you're enjoying this, just watching me talk here, Matt. But team all events on top. Junior Team USA Support 1 out of Mansfield, Texas. 10,247. That team featured Eric Vermillier, Anthony Lacaze, Jeffrey Mersch, Steve Novak, and Matthew Tuckfield. Sitting in second, Hornswogglers, Staten Island, New York, 10,204. Backhall Direct Lumper out of Indianapolis, 10,111. Leaf Lovers, Justin, Texas. We talked about them a little bit earlier. 10,108. And finally, 2008 regular team champions, Team Tilt out of Lawrence, Kansas. 10,065 rounds out the top five for team all events. So that's what these guys will be looking to shoot at come tomorrow night. 10:30 start time out here in beautiful Reno, Nevada.
We're nearly round the clock here at the Open Championships. Things get kicked off every morning just before 7 a.m. Bowling for score at 7. And by the time Aaron gets out of here, it's close to 2:30, 2:45 when it's all wrapped up and the standings are printed for the night. Then the lane crew back at it bright and early to get things ready for another day. This year, 125 days of competition. A short break for the USBC Senior Championships, which we will cover and you will see on bowl.com early in July.
July 1st through the 3rd. Then we'll be back for the final weekend of competition.
2 action-packed days on the 5th and 6th of July. 63 teams on each team squad. And then, potentially, some folks can rest easy as they wait for the phone calls on July 7th. A lot of fans in the building just after 9 o'clock here in Reno. We've seen some folks spend many, many days here this week, bowling all the side events. 2 side events downstairs, and right up here to our right, Storm Bowlers Journal Championships presented by USBC. That's your opportunity to see the doubles and singles lane condition prior to competing at the Open Championships. For the first time in history, 2 patterns here at the OC. You can practice on the team pattern downstairs. And you can see the double singles pattern over at the BJ. Another opportunity to win some prize money.
Record turnout over at the BJ this year. It's been a great addition to having a tournament on the same lanes as the Open Championships, right next door, a little partition in between.
Same lane, same pattern, the premier side event in Reno. Your opportunity to collect a few bucks, different age and average base division. Something for everybody here at the National Bowling Stadium. No reason to go anywhere else. Get your shuttle from the airport. Many hotels within a walking distance. And come spend the day on the lanes here at the National Bowling Stadium.
Looks like that was the right ball change for Mr. Hester. Absolutely labeled the shot on 39.
See if his teammates can follow suit. 21.94 after 2.
Hatcher still playing fairly direct.
lot of work to do here. Tough break there for Dale with the 9-pin. Bate, the newcomer to this group, looking for 3 in a row here. He's got 221, 209 through 2. Got that one a little right, mixed him up, it leaves the 10. Still a big crowd on hand, watching these guys, familiar names. College, Team USA, Junior Team USA, and of course the PBA. Got to make sure we check out the score sheets down there on 24, 27, 28. Some big numbers. Keep an eye on those guys for doubles and singles tomorrow.
Great shot by Mike Wolfe there. Chris Hester saying the threat is working. As long as he keeps pace, I think that is the key this game.
Big news in the bowling world today. Everybody down in the Dallas area. Mike Fagan and Emily Mayer tying the knot.
Oh, congratulations.
The new official bowling power couple, adding their names to the list. April Ellis and Billy Murphy recently joining that list as well. So congrats to all the newlyweds.
Absolutely.
Big Dallas contingent here tonight on the 1030 squad. Some familiar faces for Aaron Smith. There's something familiar for Chris Hester. 3 in a row. So the strategy, if you're left-handed and have not come out here yet, don't make the big move. Stick with it. If you're close, stick with it.
Grind
Things
it out.
will open up. Exactly. Grind it out.
Threaten to punch people much taller than you.
You're doing the work of 8 guys all by yourself. Just wait it out. It will develop. Maybe next year I'll bowl in July. That way I will have learned all these lessons prior to competition, because that really would have been helpful about 2 months ago.
See, I have the exact opposite strategy. I want to bowl in like March next year. Get it out of the way. Enjoy my time. Set the bar high for you, Matt. Way up there in the 1640s. Maybe I have to think more along those lines next year. Stop thinking I need 1850, 1900 to knock you out. Just grind my way to 1680.
Yeah, that was the old days. Already past that prime. 1600 is the new 1800.
On the bright side, at least you had a prime.
but it was in my early 30s, so you're not quite there yet. So maybe it's right around the corner for you, your breakout year. You'll be the young, skinny Ron Vokes coming out of nowhere.
Got to see Ron Vokes earlier this year, along with 2012 regular singles champion Henry Teets. Put his title up on the line. That was a fun group to watch. They were having a good time out on the lane, just like these guys are here today. Makes our job a little bit easier.
There's Aaron Lawrence stopping by. Looks like he's bowling the Bowler's Journal right now, headed back that way. Double for Shepard.
Let's see if Wolfe can keep pace with Hester here. These guys need 13:44 coming into the last game to reach the 35-38 record score of Lodge Lanes 2. So technically, it's still out there. Mike Wolfe responds.
As we mentioned, Aaron, another bowling power couple, the Hatchers. We'll see, they put their pride on the line on the broadcast. Brian setting the bar high.
510 at the turn. Still has 250s out there. 259 max. Great head start towards all events tomorrow. I can see his game matching up fairly well to the doubles and singles pattern, so.
Well, the rocket to the pocket certainly working here. Double singles pattern 2 feet shorter. A little less hold in the middle, but he's not using the middle, so doesn't need to worry about that.
These guys are moving along. You mentioned earlier, they'll be one of the first pairs done here early on. The 7 p.m. squad. Great shot by Kurt there. Early double. Looked like a ball change for Andrew Burke there.
There's Hester looking for 4 in a row, 205, 196. Grinding it out, staying around the pocket. And I agree with that as well. If you miss a little bit, it's just never something makeable. Now we're looking at the 4-6-7. Would it be so bad to just leave a 6-pin? That's too much to ask for. A 4-7. Sport Bowling League conditions. The ultimate penalty.
Supposed to look better.
Hester will take 2. Leave it there. Hatcher's going to step up. Looking for his second strike here in game 3.
Looks like he's still sticking with that same ball unless he maybe snuck out a different one on us at some point here.
Break there for Dale. Hatcher looks like he moved left, at least on the approach.
Creeping in a little bit, still running high though, left a 4-pin.
Got the 9 out, great break there. Nidifer needs to get back on it if Flanagan's prediction is going to come through. This is 500 for Nidifer and Wolfe. That'll help.
That it will.
.1030 squad strolling through, watching the lanes a little bit. Getting ready to head back to the squad room. Next year, if you bowl 1030 and you pay in full by July 1st, that's less than 2 weeks away now, then you can get a $55 rebate just like that. More information, check out bowl.com, go to the Open Championships page, find the Register Now box, and there's all kinds of good info and details there for you. Take advantage of the chance. If it's the entry fee keeping you from bowling the Open Championships, then you have the opportunity to get some money back, up to $75 out there. Pilon, 10 pin.
Looks like we're going to have a correction here for Bate left a 10 pin, register to strike. So I got to make sure he makes it here. Takes care of that. We'll get the proper score in there and back to business.
Still a nice crowd in the chat room. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for joining us. Matt Kinizar, Aaron Smith, live at the OC here at the National Bowling Stadium. Only 2 broadcasts left after this on June 25th. 2 p.m. Eastern. Pete Thomas and Zena Garcia for doubles and singles here at the NBS. And our finale on June 30th. Jody Westner, record holder at the Women's Championships, bowled the highest all-event score in history, 23.30, on the way to the Scratch and Diamond All-Event titles in 2010. And she's assembled quite a group for their team event. Looking forward to that. That'll be June 30th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And that will be that. If you missed any of our broadcasts from this year, you can find them all on Bowl TV. Just go to youtube.com/Bowl TV. They're all archived there for your viewing pleasure. I do appreciate everybody who's already done that. Some fantastic numbers. Which is good. That means potentially job security. People are tuning in, then we get to come back and do it again next year. If there's anybody you'd like to see, certainly put the suggestions out there. Visit me on Facebook, Matt Canizaro, USBC. We're listening.
That's what 2 N's and 2 Z's.
And 1 R.
If you say so.
I saw something the other day. I think I was tagged in a few things, but they have my name spelled 4 different ways in 5 different pictures or something. It's a tough one. 3-pin, not so tough for Chris Hester, but he still looks a little baffled.
And that shot looked pretty good off his hand. I thought he was going to make it up the hill there to mix everything up. And
he was lucky to leave only the 3 again. That's the difference for the last couple of years. If that 7-pin stands, it's a disaster. His last shot on the left through the face. Shot on the right, goes light.
There's a nice shot by Ryan Hatcher. Still staying in that same zone. 11 to games at 263 and 247.
Looks like some folks are talking strategy behind us, watching these guys, setting up their game plan.
It certainly is advantageous to get here a few days early, if at all possible. So not only you can see how the lanes play up here at the National Bowling Stadium, see how some of the top teams attack the lanes, but also to head downstairs, give it a whirl on the 900 Global Showcase lanes. For $100, you and your team can, or you and your both teams for all that, get an hour on the lanes with the team oil pattern and get an idea of how it's going to break down and develop a strategy off of that as well. So if you got all 10 guys in town already, if you make your time, it does get busy down there. $10 a person. How about that?
It's quite a deal. A lot of good deals here in Reno.
Hits
Also,
converts the 5-7 there.
An opportunity to bowl the 2-game challenge for free. You book your hotel room through mybowlingvacation.com. 3-night stay will earn you 1 free entry into the 2-game challenge. So again, we're just throwing money at you. Take advantage. A lot of great coupons this year as well. Reno, very bowler friendly. They love us here. We enjoy it. Take advantage of all there is to offer here in 2013. Brett Shepard takes advantage of a great shot for a 4-bagger. Mike Wolfe working on 4 in a row, looking for 5. At the threat of physical harm if he doesn't keep striking.
Now that he's kept striking, and Hester didn't strike in the 5th and 6th, do the roles change? Oh, the messenger.
But how many is enough? He said strike more.
That's true, and this is
So is there a number?
I don't know. Perhaps we'll have to.
He does look fearful, scared, nervous. I believe I read somewhere that Chris Hester studies the moves, the ins and outs of the Karate Kid.
Wax on, wax off.
Cobra Kai.
Sweep the leg.
He's dangerous.
Maybe Hester is Wolf's Mr. Miyagi. Instead of having to paint the house and wax the car, he just threatens him and he starts striking at will.
Here's Pylon up on the left lane. Great shot there, about 10 at the break point. So 6 frames into game number 3. Team Brown 2, 1086, 1108. Storm Bowling Fish, 948, 1158. Big numbers they're chasing just to get in the top 10, 34-38.
100 pins behind the record score.
There you go, Hester. Post that one. 10 back. Feeling good. Stone Cold and Mike Wolfe.
Wow, they
No high five for you.
just got serious in here. I think they're discussing that right now.
I think they're talking about their hairdresser. Clearly they go to the same person. Brian Hatcher visits that shop as well. Looks like Aaron Smith has got the giggles. Great shot there from Bate. Strikes adding up here. Just past halfway in the finale. It's a team 7-bagger.
Nice shot by Chris Pitts there. Really liking lane 40 right now. He's yet to strike on 39 here in game 3. Shepard looking to keep up his 280 pace on 39. The 4-pin denies him 5 in a row. Craig Nidifer was looking over your shoulder, Matt. You didn't even know it.
Stealth. Typing a message right now to Brandon Terabek. He had a question for me. Doubles champ here at the Open Championships.
Back in 2011. The 9-pin stands for Mike Wolfe ending his run. I feel I'm going to have the chance for a good get on the horse ball here. These guys are booming it right now.
We've got a vote in the chat room for getting Farrell Williams on the live stream next year. Put him on the short list.
Farrell was here not too long ago, bowling with George Gohagan III.
Speaking of which, happy Father's Day to everybody out there watching. And on the East Coast already, Father's Day, time to wake up and make Dad some breakfast. We had a nice moment this afternoon at center aisle. Longtime employee Kevin Olson had the opportunity to present a 55-year watch to his father, 3-time champion Glenn Olson, the 50th member of the 55-year club. Got himself a plaque, chevron, and a custom watch, something we added just a few years back. Big double there for Hester.
Looking to get back into the game here with Mr. Wolfe. Make sure he's still striking enough. Only one open on the board for Team Brown. 2.
That was Hester's 4.67. Ball dove on him on the left lane. He recovered nicely with a double here. Right around even through 2 games. Grinding it out. Leaning on the shoulders of Brian Hatcher. Getting it done. Just like that, 3 in a row.
So it's 240s out there once again.
It is Mr. Hatcher's first Father's Day. Congrats to him.
Absolutely.
Celebrating with a big set here at the Open Championships. Looks like he might have moved a little bit back right. He was creeping left there for a minute, but now delivers 3 in a row.
Tenpin does not cooperate for bait.
It's about that time of night where we get stampeded. Folks headed out, get their equipment in the lockers. Speaking of lockers, got a chance to chat with some VIPs the other day. We do have a VIP program here at the Open and Women's Championships. A lot of great features and discounts involved with that program, but one of the top rated features is the complimentary locker. In and out privileges, especially this year with all the side events and different things going on. At $5 a pop, the locker almost pays for the whole thing. And the VIP package also includes a Nike dry fit shirt, a 1 hour one-on-one with our USBC silver certified coach downstairs on the showcase lanes on the team pattern. Discounts at USBC Photo and Bowling Ball Express. You get to hang out in the VIP lounge. You get a VIP tour of the National Bowling Stadium, all the behind the scenes stuff for $229.95. Again, the locker almost pays for itself right there. Lots of goodies. You can check it out on bowl.com/VIP. And that also always a work in progress. Looking to potentially add some team VIP packages, something for everybody. 5 shirts, 5 lockers, and a coached team practice session. So we'll see. Keep an eye on that for next year for sure. We're back here at the National Bowling Stadium in 2014. As far as I know, all these great side events will be back on the schedule again. The Women's Championships also will be contested in Reno over at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. 44 lanes inside that building. And the USBC Queens will return in 2014. You can find out all about those things on bowl.com. That and more.
How about that? I think Mr. Flanagan's prediction still has a chance of happening. 500 for Mike Wolfe and Craig here. 248 for Craig. Mike says 258 out there. Just enough.
Well, we're going to have some solid team scores here tonight for sure across the house, but looks like Vernon and the guys are going to be safe
for another day.
say we charge admission. We'll fill up the office with people's equipment. Lock the door when we walk out on July 7th. It'll be there for you when you get back next year. What do you think? Probably should have thought of that about 110 days ago.
Although we'd probably be pretty, we wouldn't have a lot of room at this point. We don't have a lot of room right now. When they get one of the fancy offices upstairs.
I turned that down. I want to be close to the action.
We are extremely convenient, we'll get it out there. Conveniently close to the lanes. Right behind the check-in and registration. As always, feel free to stop by, say hi, leave food. We're not that picky.
We're winding down here, game 3. Chris Hester's gonna shoot at the 7-pin. No problem. For the lone southpaw, rocking the sweet ebonite shirt. In a sea of Storm jerseys. Hatcher throwing what looks like the Venom strike from Motive.
From what we're looking at now, yeah, that seems to be the closest. One of the few miscues we've seen from him all day. Nidifer with a 5-bagger.
Hatcher might be stuck on the left lane between trying to make a move. Saw him go high earlier.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. But
used to that point. That's where Hester's been all night long. Still a nice set out there for Hatcher.
this count alone will give him or get him to 700. So
Wade's trying to finish strong, set up the foundation here. And just to clarify in the chat room, the Open Championships will be contested at the National Bowling Stadium. The Women's Championships will spend another year at the 44-lane installation at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Just not enough lanes or enough time for the Open Championships over at the RSCC. Then in 2015, the OC heads to El Paso, Texas. Going to El Paso for the first time ever. The women were there in 2010. Aaron had a fantastic time. Looking forward to going back. And always nice to see a brand new host city for the Open Championships. We haven't seen one of those since 2005 when we visited Baton Rouge for the very first time. Then in 2016, the OC returns to the National Bowling Stadium as part of the original contract. And then a lot of folks are looking forward to the new deal with Las Vegas. South Point Hotel Casino building a new bowling arena, a permanent facility, 60 lanes, modeled after the championship venue. That will actually open up for the women in 2016. Then the women will head to Baton Rouge in 2017. Back here to Reno in 18. They will celebrate their 100th anniversary in 2019 in Wichita, Kansas. Going back to bowling centers. The Open Championships after Vegas in 17 will head to Syracuse in 18. And then on a back and forth between Vegas and Reno until 2025, headed back to Baton Rouge. So you can find all of that and more on bowl.com. Just type in host cities into your search, and you'll get all the details and the schedule. What's coming up. Chris Hester, big shot, start to 10th.
Hester still has 224 out there. Burt looking for a 4-bagger.
High flush.
How about that? 60 feet to success.
There's Aaron Cliche Smith.
That's all I'm good for.
Tough break for Hester. About the best place you could leave that if you're gonna. The 6-7. We saw Matt McNeil in his all events title defense shoot 6-12, 6-13 in the team event. And he come out huge, 1487 in doubles and singles. I think Hester certainly capable of numbers like that. We'll see tomorrow. Well, Aaron will see tomorrow. I don't intend to be here.
Not with that attitude. Yeah, these guys will certainly be hoping I'm sticking around here till about 4 or 5 writing their story tomorrow. So I'll be more than happy to wake you up to let you know about the big news too.
I appreciate that. I believe I've many times this year fallen asleep with my phone in my hand, either watching the scores on X Bowling or waiting for the next update from Mr. Smith. We too are a nearly 24-hour operation to bring the news to you on bowl.com, Facebook, and Twitter. Brian Hatcher trying to get his name in the news. Appreciate everybody joining us. We are about to wrap things up here at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. Big names, solid scores here. Rough night for the lone left-hander. 6 and change.
614.
Take that in a heartbeat.
Andrew Burke finished 216 for 633.
That's your high flush. Nice night for him. He's probably going to celebrate Father's Day at the Sands. Official bracket sponsor of the 2013 USBC Open Championships.
Chris Pitts bounces back nicely after a rough 158 start. 248, 226 for 632. .211 for Brian Hatcher, 721.
We've seen a lot of great scores in the team event. Double singles, a little bit more challenging every night. Aaron leaves a note, lets me know who to watch the next day in doubles and singles in the morning. Pretty long list at times. Very few, however, have carried that success over to day 2. A true test of versatility.
Spare conversion. Bait will be in the 2 teens.
Pretty good night for the newcomer.
Absolutely. It'll be just under 650. Dale finishes at 236. For 608. $217, 647.
So these guys flirting with 3,300 here.
Definitely have it out there still. They could add 110 onto what they got already.
Nice finish for Brandon Dale, 236, 3 in the 10th. Nidifer gets the first one for 6th in a row.
Keeping Mike Flanagan's prediction intact.
Certainly we'll see if we can get any of these guys to come talk to us after we're done here. I think we can get some camera work, get Aaron Smith down there in the trenches.
Messenger gets the 10 pin for Nidifer. He'll be in the 240s once again. 3 240s. Off to a fantastic start.
Nidifer playing it up for the camera a little bit. Hope that's not anything.
Get on that horse ball. Ah, there we go.
Finish there for Shepard. 3 in the 10th. For 239. Nidifer 248. Big 10th here for Pylon and his team. Strike there for him. They're closing the gap. Mike Wolfe, disaster in the 10th. The 4-7-10. He opened in the 10th of game number 1. He gets just 1. Rough finish for the PBA champ. 224, 32.98. The final number for Team Brown 2.
Kurt Pylon closes things up here. 2:11, 11:37 for Storm Bowling Fish. 32:43 in the books.
So there's a solid effort for those two teams right there. We'll send Aaron down towards the lanes. See if we can get in touch with somebody here. Here's your look at the scoreboard. Aaron's gonna head down. We get the camera down on them as well. Aaron's kind of shy.
Just a little.
Fight your way through there, fella.
We'll grab someone here in a sec.
Guys packing up. Lanes being oiled for the 10:30 squad.
See Chris and Brian over here. We'll grab these guys. Gentlemen, nice bowling today.
Thank you, sir.
Going to do just a quick recap here. We've got Matt moving the cameras around, so we'll just follow up. 32-98, I believe, was the final tally. Very solid performance out there. You guys put on a good show for everybody. Brian, you led the way for Team Brown 2, 7:21 in the books. Great effort. You were playing a little further right than most everyone. Just kind of what were you seeing out there, and what were your keys to success?
I just can't hook it as much as everybody else that was bowling on my pair, so just did what I could do and, made it look right to me, and fortunately it panned out.
All right, and Chris, we talked to you a little bit after game 2. Did Mike strike enough there to...
He did there for a little bit. That 10th frame may result in a punch in the throat. Maybe later, maybe now may not be the time to approach him about it, but that will result in a punch. But everybody bowled pretty good. I mean, it's funny. Every year, everybody when they get done, when they leave here, they say, oh, we left so many pins out there. And, we get done right now, and we look and go, gosh, we left a lot of pins out there. I mean, but that's the best thing about this tournament. You get one shot at it, and you either do it or you don't. And, everybody bowled solidly. I wouldn't trade anything, and we did well. I'm pleased. Disappointed and pleased at the same time, if that's possible.
And I know when we talked to you earlier, you guys didn't get the chance to hit the showcase lanes, but you guys have been at the Bowler's Journal already. So just talk about any predictions for tomorrow. How'd you guys fare over there, and what can we look forward to at 10:30 tomorrow night?
Well, as long as Wolfe doesn't get another 2 count like he did in the Bowler's Journal today, then things will be okay. It took a squad for everybody to kind of figure out the different zones. They hooked a little. Obviously, they're the shorter pattern, hooked a little more. But once everybody got comfortable, everybody had a pretty solid. Nobody had a, oh my gosh look, but everybody had a pretty solid look. So we're fairly confident going into tomorrow. But with this group of guys, I'm confident every time these guys throw a shot. So I just try and stay out of their way. I try and make spare. I'm a spare shooter. I make spares, stay out of their way. That's what I do.
All right, and you guys sure look like you had some fun out there today too. So that was
That's what it's about. Yeah, if you come out here and you leave grumpy and you're out here with friends doing what you love. I mean, anytime you get the opportunity to do this, it should be fun. If you don't have fun when you're out here for the wrong reason. We're out here to have fun. If we bowl good, I mean, obviously we want to bowl good, but this is a great group of guys to bowl with. It's hard not to have fun with these guys.
All right, I think that'll wrap everything up here. So guys, thanks again for letting us live stream you. Put on a great show, and best of luck tomorrow, Matt. We're going back to you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, folks, there you have it. Final scores in the books, 32-98 and 32-43. A lot of strikes. Nice finish there for Storm Bowling Fish. Big night here, and our last team live stream from the Open Championships in 2013. That's going to do it. This is Matt Cannizzaro for Aaron Smith live at the National Bowling Stadium. That's the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.